How's it going, everyone? Back with another stream today. We're going to be jamming the same 75 that we did last stream. Even though it didn't go well, I kind of want more data out of our Elvish Reclaimers. Um, so the first league we did with Elvish Reclaimers in Abzan, which was, if you're watching this on YouTube, 2 videos ago, they were really, really impressive. We fetched up a Bujukabog against Kroxa. We fetched up a Blast Zone, and then I literally just held, Hammer Time player at bay. Hey, Rousey, 18 months, man. Really appreciate it, buddy. Tuned in right away. Appreciate it, man. Um, so we turned a Blast Zone, and like we literally just like Hammer Time our Hammer Time opponent couldn't win. Um, and then we just fetched up Urza Saga against another Hammer Time player, and we just had like 14 fighting constructs. So that league, like Reclaimers, felt great. And then the last video, like Reclaimer was just not great at all. I felt like I wanted more impact on my sideboard cards, and when we naturally draw like a Ghost Court against Tron, it just isn't enough. Like Tron could recover from one, strip mine effect, very easily, just because like half the deck is just tutoring for lands or just digging for lands to assemble Tron, right? So I kind of missed like a dead big spear effect, and that is something that I know that I wish I had. That was like my 16th sideboard card in this list. So like the pros and cons of Elvish Reclaimer are there, and I feel like I was like thinking about it, and it seems like Elvish Reclaimer is the type of card where you this shouldn't be your primary game plan. So with 1 mana, it's actually easy to like in the mid game on turn 2 or turn 3, just have this be one of the other spells you cast. Like have your primary spell be like turn 1 Sentinel, turn 2 Dark Confidant or Tar Morgoi for making constructs or whatever. Like these should like the other spells in your deck should be kind of pulling weight, and then the Reclaimer should be able to pull forward once you kind of establish the board state. So this card's not that great when you're behind because you have to untap with it, spend 2 mana, and tutor for something because it'll contemplate tapped. So, for example, Blast Zone, if you top deck a Reclaimer, you're not going to be able to crack a Blast Zone on one until 2 turns after that. So that's really, really slow. And the other downside of Reclaimers are the fact that it just takes up so many sideboard slots. Like, someone on Twitter mentioned that maybe there just aren't enough spicy targets in the main, and I agree. There aren't any, outside of Urza Saga, there really isn't any, worthwhile fetchables unless you're playing through a Blood Moon. So you can just fetch a basic. Other than that, there really isn't a worthwhile card. Sorry, my phone's got like there isn't really a worthwhile card in the main deck that can just take over the game, right? So I think there's like pros and cons, and I think it's one of those things where it's hard to like have a compromise, because if you want to dedicate some sideboard slots like for like a Blast Zone, a Bujukawag, and a Ghost Core, that's 3 starts of the sideboard that you're dedicating for the Reclaimer package, and you can't skimp on Reclaimers because of that. Like I like there could be like, oh, maybe it's just 2 Reclaimers, but then are you going to dedicate these 3 cards for it? So are you really only turning up Urza Saga for this Reclaimer? And I feel like you're just like underutilizing this card. So we're just gonna jam it out of the league, see how it goes. And depending on how it feels, I might switch back to my previous version without Elvish Reclaimers, just to see how that feels. Because of note, like what we made room for the Reclaimers in the main, we added the Windswept Heath instead of the over an Urborg to have a 9th fetch. We also cut a third Dark Confidant, 2 Voidwalkers, and a Portable Hole. And I was kind of like thinking, like, would it have been better as one of those 3 cards, right? So it'd be interesting to see. I do like how much lower to the ground it is. So again, pros and cons. It is cool that we have more multiple 1 drops, so like we're able to like double spell leisure, and that's what it felt like in the first league that I ran with it. So we'll try it, get some more data, see how it performs, and then I'm planning to do a second league, and from there we can stick with the Reclaimer build, maybe make some changes to Reclaimer build, or we can swap back to the non-Reclaimer build just to kind of compare in a day. I've been really thinking of moving off of Luris and Abzan Reclaimer. Endurance and Checker seem really good in the shell, running Blue Command and Reclaimer potentially. Maybe. I mean, that seems reasonable. If you want to go a little bit bigger. I think losing a companion really sucks, and that's kind of a huge loss. So I guess it just depends on what you're trying to target. If you're targeting like more of like a grindy meta, are you sure you really want to go off of Luris? But if you're in a meta of like mill where you really want those endurances, or like live again where you really want, again, you just want that instant speed. You don't have to hold up mana like a Kaya Scala or whatever. You can essentially cast an endurance for free. I can see that sadistic stage. But I think that's in a very targeted meta. I think overall, I think the Luris Bauble package with Tarmogoyf, getting the Tarmogoyf out of Unholy Heat range in late game, because with Urza Saga being enchantment and Risher's Bauble being an artifact, you can get Tarmogoyf to become a 6/7 pretty consistently. Get that out of Unholy Heat range. And that's one of the main drawbacks to this deck, is because Tarmogoyf ends up being really, really resilient to the removal cells in the meta. So when you want to go a little bit bigger with Endurance and Tireless Tracker, what are you really targeting? Because if it's more of a grinding meta, losing Luris sucks. I was gonna say, Annie, the lens aren't terrible to draw those, so it's not really dedicated to Reclaimer. For sure, it's not that. It's just the fact that like those cyber slots that you're dedicating to the Reclaimer, it could be other stuff, right? Like I missed having a Damping Spear, where if we had naturally drawn the Damping Spear instead of the Ghost Quarter, we would easily be Tron. Small sample size, right? So this is why we're kind of just playing it more. We have Inquisition into Prismatic Ending and Saga. I think we can keep this. This is kind of a below average hand, but I think we can keep this and just hope to not draw any more lands. Okay, never mind. I guess we're not going to. And this is a spot where like Reclaimer would be a really good draw. I guess we'll get Triumph in case you wanted to play a Tarmogoyf or something. Exactly. That's something that I noticed where like the deck is like Ghost Quarter is definitely a lot worse when you're not recurring it with Wrenn Six. Like when you don't have Wrenn and Six and you just like you strip mine your Tron opponent once, it doesn't do anything. It does not do anything. Since they miss their land drop, I kind of want to just play this Bob, and then they kind of have to tie up their mana and spellbomb my Bob. And the next turn we can go like, we can just replay the Bob and then play Saga. So I kind of like that. Like, kind of make them like time walk themselves. This is essentially kind of like a time walk. But you're right. You're exactly right, Sandy. Like, not having Wrenn and Six is like the biggest downfall. To like if I was in a position where like if I had Wrenn and Six in that spot against Tron, yeah, like that would have been insane. Oh, we get to untap. I think I'm okay with like Inquisitioning, playing Spellbomb. I mean, I think I'm gonna bounce my Bob at end of turn. I think they should have just done it. Oh, Metallic Rebuke. Sure. Huh. So they can't Metallic Rebuke anything. Orzhov Music. I haven't been a fan of Orzhov Charm High Move. Like I can see it in like maybe a shadow deck, but like that's kind of playing it loose. Playing against Charlie even more boring than Star. How's it going, Andrew? Oh no, this is not the Affinity deck I was talking about. This is a different build. The one I wanted to play was more Fiddlebender based. Not it didn't have a blue splash. So I kind of want to just take the Nettle Cyst. Like, what are we doing here? We could play Saga, play Spellbomb. Or we can plan to play Tarmogoyf the following turn. It's kind of contingent on like what they draw here. And I'm assuming they just end the turn, they're just gonna crack Spellbomb. And they could just go Ingenious Smith. So I think I like just taking the Nettle Cyst because it's like really their immediate threat. And then playing the Spellbomb. And just like kind of take over the game with the constructs. I think that's our game plan. Because we can just ignore the rebukes here. Okay, so yeah, so crack and draw a card. Okay, so they drew the land. So they have one unknown. All these spells. They could rebuke here. Or they'll probably cast Ingenious Smith, which is fine. Yep. They just have another else that's off the top, sure. I think we're gonna just make Saga tokens here. So I think we're gonna play Courtyard and just pass. Yeah, I think I like playing Courtyard pass. We could hold up like Shock and Egala Shrine and try to like hold a Fatal Push or something, but I don't feel the urgency to do so. We're also at 13, so. So we revealed Tarmogoyf and Fatal Push. So these are the two cards that we revealed here. Okay. I actually wouldn't mind Prismatic ending that drum, which is funny. Okay. And like playing the spell on the turn ago, kind of thinks ahead in the sense that like, well, we can like these constructs are going to be 2/2s, which may be relevant. Sure. So we actually know their whole hand. If they attack with a Smith, I'm going to trade with a construct. I'm going to make a construct here. Get a Shadow Spear. Yeah, and then we're just going to equip Shadow Spear. Get in there. So they can cast Thought Monitor for 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can cast Thought Monitor for. So they can tap out for Thought Monitor here. So with the Relic in play, these Termagants are a lot less enticing, of course. White mana. We know 4 out of the 5 cards. So the card that they drew off the top, we don't know. Is this another Smith? Oh, portable. Sure. What are you targeting? You're talking to Bob or the Shadow Spear? Shadow Spear, sure. Okay. So they have Rebuke up. Ooh, their own Saga scary. Yeah, so they have Rebuke up. Another Prismatic Ending is Dees. So we can Prismatic Ending, they Rebuke, Prismatic Ending, pay, equip, attack. We could theoretically hold up push. So I think we play drum just to grow the constructs. Pay. Okay, so the hand is Rebuke, Nettlecyst, Unknown. So no. Do that. Do this. Do this. We could force a trade here. But then it shrinks our construct. I think I just attack with this one. And then we just try to like Inquisition push our way through next turn. As in like hopefully they just chump block one and we push. So that second Prismatic Ending was very clutch. That's scary. So they can make a construct, hold up, rebuke. Sure. Oh my goodness. Will, how's it going, buddy? I was looking at your stream earlier when you were playing Monkey. How was your stream? Hopefully it went well. Oh god. I see how it is. I see how it is here. How do I mass ban people in the chat? How do I mass ban people in the chat here? That's so funny. Oh, this is a tough spot. We could. He made us. 0 rhinos, diamonds. Ouch. So I think I lead on Inquisition here. Pay. So like if they want to spend their mana, they have to. They could also have double rebuke too. Ingenious Smith. So they can hold up a construct. We would probably have to push that. Oh, but then they could just make these 5/5s. So I think we have to think a little bit longer game. Jeez. I think I have to take the Smith here now. Because these constructs are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could just go like double Goyf. I think we just have to go double Goyf here. Did you have the Relic though, which sucks, but like there's a Saga constructs are just way bigger than ours. I think we just have to kind of like flood the board. But this is looking good for the home team. Play Siege Rhino, we would still lose. We need 2 Siege Rhino, sure. But this does not look like a good spot for us. Because now they can get their own Shadow Spear here. So we're kind of like forced to push that one. One ephemerate, sure. So they could get Shadow Spear Hero, but I guess we'd have to. They have the Metallic Rebuke up. So maybe we're supposed to take the Rebuke. I don't see an out of this. Like them drawing that second portable hole really was the nail in the coffin for us, I think. Okay. So it looks like they're tapping out. So we have push up. How do we win this game? We need another portable hole into a fatal push. Oh, they didn't play that land, so they punted there. Unless that's the card they draw off Sentinel. So now they have Rebuke up. We still can portable hole here. Yeah, I don't think we have any outs now. I guess we can crack the spell bomb first. Let's do that just to cross our T's, dot R's, because we could still draw a portable hole or prismatic ending. That was not it. I mean, we drew our second prismatic ending, which was helpful, but they fortunately just destroyed us. I think we want the Blast Zone. I don't know if we want Ghost Quarter. I think we want the Thorax, though. I'm unsure if we want Sentinels. It looks like they're not really graveyard heavy. So I think we can cut the Spell Bomb. I'm unsure if the Sentinels are good in this matchup. I guess they Rebukes. And Smiths. I kind of want to just board out all the Sentinels. And then maybe trim a land. And since we trimmed the Sentinel, we can just cut a Courtyard, I think, since we don't need... Like, we don't need... Like, it would be nice to have a turn and pending, but, like, I don't think it's, like, necessary. This hand's kind of awkward, but we keep it. It's awkward because of the fact that we have an EE. And we have a bunch of one-man artifacts, so like E on one would be kind of awkward here. But I don't think that's a reason to mulligan the hand. So we can put out the Shadow Spear too. I think you can ferret. I believe you can. So if it's like a Torak, you can pay the 2 mana and kick it. Guess it'll really just be contingent on what we draw here. Thought Monitor. I'm trying to figure if I want to push or ending. I think we want to push, right? Because this can answer a portable hole. And other random artifacts too. So push this. JK Torborg, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. We'll just gain the 3 back that we oops. No worries, buddy. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the sport. I mean, since we drew oh well, there goes all of our artifact Tate. Maybe we have Kaya's Guile, but sure. So we could either eat on 0 or just prismatic ending. It'll just depend on what we draw here. How much does it cost to equip? 2. So we could prismatic ending the Nettlecyst, play Tarmogoyf. It's not bad. I like prismatic ending the Nettlecyst here because it's just 1 less artifact for Thought Monitor. Ferret. That's sacrilegious. I channel the power of Siege Rhino. Just because I don't register it in the league doesn't mean we don't channel the power of Siege Rhino. Come on. Okay. Another Bob. So they can hold a Rebuke here, which is kind of scary, I guess. Throw everything in there. They want a Rebuke. Okay. I guess I could have played around Rebuke by playing Reclaimer first and then playing the Bob, but then we don't have enough mana. They could have still countered the Reclaimer, so it doesn't matter. But sure. Fetch line wouldn't be bad because it's 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, oh, okay, never mind. Oh, so they're just gonna be dead on board. There's both creature and instant in both graveyards. So fetch line means we just win the game. Land. There's no mana upright. Land, instant, sorcerer, creature. We just put an artifact in the graveyard and just win. 7, 8. No, we don't. We're short. We need another land to make Reclaimer bigger. So we could Turak and then Pithing Needle named Shadow Spear. Hey, thanks, Will. Take it easy, buddy. Have a good night. Shadow Spear is so good with Bob. Yeah, just draw a card, gain 3 life back. Draw a card, gain 3 life back. Oh, we just got lethal from the Turak when they had an artifact and enchantment. Oh no, I guess they don't get lethal because they could just exile one of their cards with Relic. But that's so funny. All right, let's see if they name game over. Right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They exile. Oh, they could no. If you name Relic, they can't exile. Yeah, that's game over. Cool. Cool. So that Turk did win us the game. I mean, if this was in paper, I wonder if they still would have activated the relic. I wonder if they just didn't realize it. But for all intents and purposes, oh, actually, we supported Torpor Orb. It stops Ingenious Spits. It stops Thought Monitor. Yeah, I kind of like Torpor Orb here. Maybe just cut the Kaya's Guile. I don't hate that. I don't know if they're on like Urza either, so stopping the construct from Urza is also relevant too. Let's just have every goddamn tutor target from Urza Saga in this hand, shall we? We're gonna walk at this hand. Well played. Thanks, Ferret. Thank you. Probably just bottom the track. Hopefully they just play a bunch of 1-drops so we can explosives it all away. Or play into this dam. Yeah, but we'll bottom the track though. Inquisition. We have a bunch of 1-drops. I'll take a Reclaimer. Torpor. Good try home here. Did they go Ingenious Smith? That sucks. Oh shit. Okay, now we can have 6. So the relic does kind of suck. I think we're gonna sandbag this. We might have to overload this dam. That might be the primary game plan here. Two mana. I kind of need to land off the top, though. Can you attack me? No blocks. That tarp orb was too slow. Too slow. I think we still have to slam it though. It does stop like ingenious smiths and stuff, so. I guess I could have played my drum out. Just to ensure that we can dam the following turn. Yeah, I should have played the drum out. Yeah. Hopefully they can just overcommit. They have a lot of artifacts. Oh god. So we'll play the drum. Don't really get punished for it. We'll probably have to chump block the drum token. Yeah, we're gonna plan the dam next turn. Hopefully draw land so they don't draw off it. Oh, okay. So we'll take the hole. Alright, so we'll definitely plan the dam next turn. We do need to draw land though. Because now they can just draw 2 off the Sentinel. If we were to dam. Play the coast. Play Sentinel, sure. 9, 10, 11, 12. Can we go to 2? I think we have to ensure that we can dam next turn, right? Yeah, I think we have to ensure that we go to 2. Basic. Sucks that they get to draw. And like any creature, they can just equip with the Nettlecyst, which is kind of gross. The main deck dam though, I think it's giving us a chance, and that's kind of includes that we were testing, and I think it's a slam deck here for sure. Oh man, there's a Saga's gross though. Oh, okay, that's good for us actually. Do you like the main deck dam? Yeah, it's been pretty good. So we'll do this, and then we'll put Luris in hand. So now we can recur EEs. It's pretty good. Another Nettlecyst. Okay. So hopefully they don't have Rebuke here. Reclaimer. We did not try this Leslie. Like when I was brainstorming at Costa, it just was not good. Like I couldn't think of a way to kind of put it together, unfortunately. So I just added Reclaimer into an Abzan list. Like I just made like really small changes. Like I cut a Bob, the both Woodwalkers, and a portable hole main, and added Reclaimers. Because like I couldn't come up with a way to like make the green white worth it. It just didn't seem good. What's the artifact? What do you mean, Kashgar? They have Nettle Cyst, if that's what you're asking. It's just a living weapon. The creature is just a 0/0, but gets +1/+1 for each artifact or enchantment, so it counts as a Saga too. Do you think they have Pithing Needle here? So I think we have to pay. I think we have to pop E now. Well, let's see if they make a construct with this first. Go to 1. Precious 1 life. Precious 1 life. Do this. Crack E. It sucks because like 1 thought monitor and they just have the air. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. That's also brutal. Okay. We need a Kaisgail. We've ordered the Kaisgail out now. Do we have any outs? Just we already used the dam. I think we're out of outs here. I don't think we have any outs. Don't think we have any outs. They just need that 1 thought monitor. That should wrap it up. GG. I don't think we had any outs here. Because we could have bobbled and then like tried to draw Kaya's Gall off the top. I don't think we have any outs to... At 1 life, I don't think I have any outs to it. I really want Lingering Souls, which is a card that we fortunately can't have room for now because of the Reclaimer fact. And that's kind of the stuff that I'm talking about where like, sideboard kind of gets compromised. Because of this Reclaimer package. I just feel like it's like not worth it. Arguably, that's also kind of an iffy matchup too. And those Torpor Orbs did do work, so I'm glad we boarded those in. Because like stopping like them from redrawing or getting value off like Genius Smiths, like it's kind of how we can kind of mitigate their value and kind of crawl back and win. But fair, yeah, I agree. It's just We had to cut the Lingering Souls because we have to make room for the Reclaimers, right? I just don't think it's worth it. They're just so mana intensive too. Oh crap. Oh man. They're just like so mana intensive too, and it's like I can see in like a fair matchup where like they can kind of potentially take over the game, but like man, I wish I was on the play. We could gone Sentinel. Okay. We'll also okay. Lead on Sentinel too. And then we'll lead on Inquisition, I think. Oh, they have the Saga. Exactly. Costa. It just doesn't feel like there's. You're playing a bunch of bad cards just to force the Flagstone's Reclaimer interaction, and I just don't think that's good in Modern right now. Oh my gosh, I just want to make this bigger. They have double Pure Steel. Just one of those, huh? Just one of those. So we need like 2 removal spells, I guess. We really need to be on the play in this game. Yeah, equip to Sentinel, attack. We could also just hope they don't draw a removal spell. Oh, but then they just have another hammer. Jesus. Exactly, Costa. And I feel like we're starting to feel that. Oh my god. How many guesses worth playing out? They could have nothing. And we could draw into a removal spell. And like, no, but they have hammer. Off that. Oh. Do this. It's hard because like, do we board in Ghost Quarter in this matchup? I feel like the answer is like yes, but it's not good. Board on these as well. Board the Thought Seizers. Board the Sentinels. Maybe trim a Courtyard. Try that. I mean, in this Leslie like build, yeah, because I mean that's the sacrifice you're making, right? Like you're sacrificing black to run Flagstones. Like, is it worth it to not run discard spells? And it's like, I think the answer is no. I think you want discard spells. Found Duro can be really effective given the fact that we often have becomes a return with the sack enchantment. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Just blast some of them out of the game, yeah. As we have a Tarak, Ghost Quarter, or the Saga mana base here. I mean, our plan is really just to, Urza Saga win the game, hopefully. Aid. Do we want a Saga next turn? Guess we just hold up push the whole game. We're racing. Isolate. That's funny. Do we have to push this Memnite? Fuck. Oh god, that feels so bad. That feels so bad. I mean, maybe they just had no creatures. If we draw white source, we can Kai's go their creature off the top. Is an out. Take the Goyf. Think what they get Springleaf Drum with the Saga token. Do they have any creatures? But Luris in hand. Thank you, deck. I needed that. I needed that so bad. The hand is pretty ass. Then they must have like multiple hammers or something. Huh. The Springleaf Drum is doing work. Path? As far as building an Esper food deck that powers out an overloaded Rise and Shine, interesting. Target non-artifact creature usually goes a +0 artifact. Put 4+1 on artifact. Okay. Oh, you turn all your foods into 4/4s? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Some MH2. That is true, because I see like all these like food decks, they have like 1,000 food in play and they just kind of don't really do anything, which is kind of weird, you know? Oh, this Reclaimer just doesn't do anything. I think with them log on this. We don't have a green source, but no Sentinel. 8 is fine. Okay, that's acceptable too. They can take my pending. It's fine. 4-course meal effect. That's a great name. I will second that name. That's great. That's great. Okay. Really wish we drew a green source there. Could just actually play the Reclaimer. They have Saga too. It's so bad. Oh god. So we can get a Reclaimer next turn. Oh, just get a blast zone next turn. Breakfast Club. That's true. So I think here we'll just pass with Kaya's Guile up. They might just make a construct token. Fuck. So now, like, what happens is they're gonna. I think we have to let this go. We have to take 11. See what they do. And then we might just have to, like, tutor a Blast Zone this turn. Because, like, if we Kaya's Guile now, they just, like, we're tapped out. They animate this Ink Moth, get a hammer, equip it, we give it flying again, and we're dead. So we just have to pass, take this hit to the chin. If they make a construct here, then I can see us going Kaya's Guile. Make them sack, make a 1/1. So I think it pays off to be patient in this spot. Make a flyer. Yeah, that's gonna be the plan. Like the plan is to make them sack, make a flyer if they make a construct here. Oh, they're going for it. That's so good for us. So I kind of want them to use up all their mana. Oh, unless they have Shadow Spear. But we can't play around them having Shadow Spear, so. Yeah, like this card just like is just slow. I think that's the situation that we're kind of coming across. It's like it's just so slow. It is we're trying to set up a turn where we can get a blast zone, but it just takes up so much mana. You know what I mean? Like, and we're starting to learn that more with a bigger sample size here. Deal. Oh my god! Please give me a black source. Give me a black source. Black source. This hammer was reeled off the Saga, so their hand is Shadow Spear, 2 unknown. I don't think we play Reclaimer because we have to get Blast Zone. So I think we Prismatic ending the Stoneforge Mystic. Play Saga. Tutor for Blast Zone. And then untap. And then just hold up Blast Zone the rest of the game. We want them to play the Shadow Spear here. They put Luris in hand. We could just get Turak. You could just get Turak mana. There's nothing in the graveyard for Luris, though. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This card's too slow. This card's too slow. GG. Oops. Yeah, for sure, Ferret. And it's one of those things where like if it was good in the first league we played in, and it was just like maybe that was just small sample size where we just constantly hit the ceiling, and now we're just running into more of maybe in the middle ground of how Reclaimers actually are in specifically Abzan. And again, like I think we talked about earlier how like it's could be decent with like combination of the Ghost Quarter, bringing back Saga and recurring it. Like I think in combination with Wrenn and Six, I think there might be some play there, but without Wrenn and Six, it just doesn't seem great. We'll keep this. I wish we were on the play. We could have gone Sentinel plus Bob, but that doesn't seem to be perfect. Exactly, Fluffy. Okay. If they take Sentinel, we just go Triumph. That's perfectly fine with me. The Quay of Coolies means they're probably on some sort of like Eldrazi list, right? Yeah, I think so, Sandy. Like I don't, again, like I don't, I don't want to trash Reclaimer as a card. I guess I'm coming from a perspective like I don't think it fits in this deck specifically. You got it. All right, can you get a Bob and or the Saga at the same time? Looks like there's some sort of like ores off. Okay. Mono Shambling event. Love to see it. Because I could, again, like it gets Trod, right? Like that was kind of my main thing I didn't like was like I like ghost quartered and I was like okay, like they stumbled a turn. But I can see a combination of like um like Ghost Quarter with Wrenn and Six, then we're talking, right? So again, different decks, different builds, different tools you have access to, and it seems like there just isn't enough in the Abzan colors that can better utilize the Reclaimer, right? I think Wrenn Six is just really, really good. They took the prismatic ending. Thought Mage, I would just go back to the original build that I have, which I'm gonna play after this league. If we lose this match, I'm just gonna drop and then play that deck. But I can show you it after. Saga's really good. Yeah, it's you can probably find it in the Stream Decker. But I can but you replace Elvish Reclaimers with the third Bob, two Voidwalkers, and a Portable Hole. That's what I had. And then I swapped and I had an Ouroborg in the original list, and I swapped it with a Windswept Teeth, have a ninth fetch for Reclaimer. And that's the list that I have a lot of success with. It's just like trying something different. Like this is just more experimentation, right? It's not like it's the end all be all. I just wanted to try out Reclaimers and Abzan, see how it works, see if it's good. If it's a good tool to have, like that's something that we can discover, and that's what I thought we found. I thought we found something cool that we could use, and not to say it's not cool. I just don't know if we can utilize that card, unfortunately. Okay, man, if we draw a Fatal Push, I guess we can't Prismatic into the Thought-Knots here. Oh, they drew another Relic. Yikes. I mean, we're just going to make a Construct Equip attack. I don't see a need to Thoughtseize here. They trade here. Okay, sure. Urza, Saga. Yeah, and that's the card that I missed the most. Is like, and that's the thing is like, like because Voidwalker is so good, we have to move, Voidwalkers to the sideboard. So like these two cards should be in the main, right? So that's two sovereign slots that are occupied by Voidwalkers, and then like these three lands from Reclaimer, we're essentially like taking away 5 sideboard slots, which is a lot, So yeah. Yeah, not to say it's wrong in John or this and that. Like I don't want to make any claims like that. I don't want that to be confused either, because I think that it is probably very good in John. I just don't know, and I don't want to make any conclusions based on those. It's funny because like against like these Eldrazi decks, when they have a relic, like our creatures are always just so much smaller. But like whether it's a saga, it's like all right, we just like body you with constructs. Yeah, Sandy, your record with the deck is fucking absolutely absurd for sure, right? Like, and that's the thing. It's like I think you provided data to where it's worth trying. Um, so I don't want to say it was like a moot cause or was it worth or anything. I disagree. When I think this is a cool experiment to try. Um, and I don't want to take any. I don't want to like. I want to be very clear that like the the perspective I've been giving about these reclaimers is from an Abzan perspective, and I agree with um Who said that in the chat? It was about different contexts and different decks. Like it's one of those things where like my perspective on how Reclaimers are in this deck does not apply to Jund, and I think that it could very well be good in Jund. I just don't want to make any claims about that because I think it's just looking at apples and oranges. I think access to Wrenn and Six, Monkey, Kolaghan's Command, like these are just different cards you have access to, and like it's one of those things where like you have these tools, and if you take one of those tools out, you kind of need another card that can at least somewhat compensate there, right? I think I have the mole in this. The double second Saga really sucks. Sure. So I don't want to take anything away from what Sandy has been experiencing in his leagues, because I think Sandy's results speak for themselves. So thought made's exactly that's what trial and error is for exactly. I think it's good in a Wrenn Six. I think it has value versus slower decks, but don't know about the rest of the meta. For sure, agreed. For sure that's hard to disagree with that claim. Very, very much agree with that. Yeah, sorry, Ferret. So it's a streamer problems. It's hard to keep up with who said what and try to play optimally here. First page on trophy page with mono for the win. Yeah. Ah, fuck. When's the last time any of y'all seen a Liliana the Last Hope in Modern? When was that? Alright, we're just gonna get Saga. Hard counter to Bob, yeah, for real. Especially on the play. I thought they're gonna activate this. Our opponent is fucking destroying us, dude. Shit. They are absolutely bodying us. Absolutely bodying us. Oh, did I board in Tarak? I did. I was wrong for me to sack the plane. Sack the swamp. I should sack the planes. It's just too slow, Slayer Fall. Like you can't. By the time you can cast this Liliana, they hit you twice with the Ragavan. You're losing already. At that point, they don't care if they lose the Ragavan. That's the problem. Exile the swamp. Wrenn and Six is good versus Ragavan, though. Yeah, for sure. Because Wrenn and Six is also just a really powerful card by itself. Like versus like this is like 2 mana and 3 mana is a big thing. Like you don't get like inherent. Like you could get inherent value off of this minus, but like. Opponent, I love you. I respect you so much. I shouldn't have boarded out that Pithing Needle. I had it in earlier. Like I was in my pile to bring in, and then I took it out, and I regret it now. Take the Liliana down. I don't want them to be able to minus. Okay, they're gonna minus. Interesting. You spelled Iron wrong. Fate Ticket versus regular stones. I start caring about that one. He's using me. I guess you stop their treasures. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Secret tech. I'll let you hit me. I'll let you draw a card and cast whatever cards are on top of your deck, but you would not be able to craft these treasures. No, not on my watch. Opponent, you are kicking my ass. I think at the ending of the Liliana now. Because they could kill the Tarmogoyf after they crack a relic here, so. I guess I could equip Shadow Spear, but I'd rather just make this play. Like, I could have put Laris in hand instead, but I think it's just better. It's a sorcery in our opponent's graveyard, but not an instant. We'll just put the monkey in the portable. Yeah. That's fair. That's also fair. And like Shadow Spear as well, right? So can't really crack this. I think I'm gonna equip Shadow Spear onto the Bob. We can't attack because I can just crack Relic and then block. So we'll equip Shadow Spear onto the Dark Confidant so it gets protection from Liliana. The turn. Are you sure the Stonies winning the game, Slayer Fall, or is it the Blood Moon? Uh-oh. Opponent, I respect everything you're doing here. I respect everything that you're doing here. I can double crack Relic. But I think that's fine. Let's equip here. Let's attack the Sorin. We kind of want to make them double crack the Relic here. I guess they don't have to double crack. Because they can just activate this. That plan was easily faltered by our opponent. But I had to fight through at least one of these relics, right? Okay, that's a good draw. We know they're gonna draw Cavern. It feels awkward to like damn the spirit. Never mind. That's fine. We want to put Laris in anyway. Or Goif was under $60. I mean, if they reprinted enough too, right? They reprinted it enough. What does this card do again? At the beginning. Well, that emblem sucks. We'll see if they ultimate here. Because I can just like make them sack, make a 1/1, sack the token. Okay. Okay. This deck is a crossover episode, yeah. God damn, they just have to draw all the relics, huh? Yeah, they're playing Legacy Thoughtmate, so they're definitely gonna go up in price for sure. It's gotta be a safe bet. If it sees playing Legacy, you know the price is gonna be pretty stable on the card. How's that last guy? Hope you're doing well, buddy. Problem here is I can't really attack. Yeah, I should have boarded a Pithing Needle just for fucking Relic of Progenitus. I mean, theoretically, there's a Saga to just take over the game. So we're not so reliant on the graveyard here. It's a Strangler. Oh, okay, that sucks. Oh, I should have sacrificed it to Reclaimer. I should honestly just be taking over the game with Reclaimer, and I'm just like not doing that. So we just have to make enough, draw enough creatures to survive an emblem. Make them crack one of these relics here. Yeah, we're just gonna take over the game with Saga. I should have been doing that from the get-go. I should have, yeah, I should have cracked the... Sure. Got my Sagas at like trade away at like 40 after being bored with their gameplay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue the power level though, for sure. Okay. How many Sagas do we have left? One left. Just sacrifice the planes. This Reclaimer is doing work though, finally. Okay, so now since we got the last Saga out of the deck, we'll just sack the Reclaimer now. Oh my god, we finally fought through all those relics. Finally fought through all those relics. Are we gonna more fetchables left? We have Temple Garden left, I think. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so we can equip. Right? Temple Garden is still in the deck. So we can make this a 5/5. Texorn down. Okay, don't wrath me again. Don't wrath me again. I don't think I have another fetchable though with this Catacombs. We're just beating a deck from 2016 though, you know? Just casually. I guess we'll just sack a const. Oh, I should have. Fuck. Oh, I guess I could sack the Bob. You just bring it back. Just bring it back. Uh-oh. Is this Kai's Guile? Oh. We'll get a Springleaf Drum with this one. Oh, crap. Did I tap the Saga? Oh, that's annoying. I like tapped the Saga for mana. Sorry, chat. I'm just like... I feel like this is just garbage time. Don't want to overextend into a Wrath, I don't think. I should, in theory, have another construct, but I don't think it should matter. Okay, so... Them blocking with the Scholar means they don't have a card in hand that they can sacrifice to. Yeah. What are the main advantages? Definitely Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel is definitely one of the main draws to it. So against decks like blue red, Murktide, and like control, like the matchup's so much easier with Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel also being artifact means your constructs are just naturally bigger too in the mid game. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use Arsenal real quick and then we're gonna finish this league. I'll be right back. Let me pull up the rest the deck list. I'll be right back. I was gonna say like Reclaimers did work that game because it did tutor us the Saga for us to like just win the game. But I don't think our match against Black White Eldrazi processor deck is like a good barometer. Don't think it's a good barometer. But yeah, Urtesum, like it's really Esper Sentinel is a good one. Main deck Kai's also kind of nice too. Prismatic Ending is a big draw, as what Ferret says too. Just being able to answer a turn one like Amulet or Sigarda's Aid. It's very, very useful. I think we're gonna lead on Blooming Marsh with this hand, so that we can go Saga Tormoglyph next turn if we don't draw anything. Luckily, we're on the play here. I don't care if they thought sees us. We have 2 Goyfs. I think I take the expressive iteration here. I can also see it if we're taking the shadow. I think I take the expressive iteration because like otherwise our hand really doesn't do anything. Like once they thought sees my Goyf, we go Goyf Saga, and then they theoretically push our Tarmogoyf. And then then they really don't do anything. Hopefully these Saga just take over. Hopefully they just don't draw dress down. And I think that's kind of the main reason to take the expressive iteration. Oh, that's brutal. That was a good top deck. Maybe I should have taken the push. I just feel like this game's just gonna go long. And again, in this specific matchup is where Esper Sentinel would really, really shine. No dress down. Man, they just... Now they can go double shadow. This one is the one from that set. Another Darcy. Oh, so they can just play out their hand. Fuck. Just sounds very good for sure. I agree with you. We will make a construct. God, we're just drawing all lands too. I think we'll get the... I don't think we're going to crack the spell on this turn anyway, so we'll just play the second Saga and pass. I really just put Luris in hand. Cast a discard spell. Cast a discard spell. They topped. That's scary. What am I feeling that's a dress down? Why do I be feeling that's a dress down? Dress down also is just a very complicated magic card, and like there's spots where it also breaks Moto. Interesting. Gives him delirium, but I feel like they are dressed out in hand. Or on top, sorry. Just a push, huh? Just a push. So if we draw a removal spell off the top, we just 100% stabilize here. We could also just take this, but I think it's worth offering the trade for the Darcy here. I think it really is. So crack that. Because we can wipe out the graveyard with the Kaya's Kyle anyway. So it's like it just gives us more incentive to clear the board. I don't need another. I wonder if we get Springleaf Drum here. Yeah, I think I like holding a Kazgal this turn. I wonder if they just put Lurrus in hand. 4-1, nice. I know that's not your favorite result, but it's still pretty decent. Attack me. They're not gonna put Lurrus in hand. Interesting. I think we're gonna end up using all the mana, so. Okay. Yeah, I think I dressed out now. I'd be very sad for sure. But they don't. They again don't. Put Lurrus in here. Are they just forgetting about Lurrus? Fair, but I feel like we're at a point in the game where like to play around another drown, I think I'm just gonna do this. So now they just have nothing. We can go Lurrus, bring back Tarmogoyf next turn. Okay. So they could have their own drown here. Still sucks, but oh, okay, that's a really good draw too. And this is where like Sentinel, like, say they had the drown, we would draw a card off it, and it like wouldn't be that bad. Like it sucks that we lost Lurrus, but like we essentially like two for on them, right? So, oh, it is Lurrus. You're right. You're right. Wait, did they? Yeah, yeah, you're right. My bad. My bad. You're right. Okay. Yeah, the yard is empty, but if it goes unchecked, like they can top deck a bauble and kind of take over the game. Like there's lines to where we lose the game if this Lurrus goes unmolested, right? It's probably they just let me draw a card. Now we exiled it with Kazgal. So do they have dress down? If that's the case, they should have upkeeped it, I think. I think we're just gonna bring back more threats. So it looks like they have push. They just gonna let me draw like every time. Just gonna let me draw every time, huh? Well, why do you say that, Zanny? I would prefer not to, Barrett. I would prefer not to. What's your line for exiling it? Oh, because they can go lurse, bring it down. Got you. But then, oh, because they could do it end step. You're right. That's a good call. Yeah, yeah. That's fair. But we also just have lethal if they go dress down. So I guess it doesn't matter, but I see your point there. I see your point there. Oh, I don't know. This is kind of showcasing the value of the white splash. Just the Sentinels are just so good in these like shadow lures matchups. I don't know what our opponent was doing there. Don't know what our opponent was doing. I wonder where it's worth bringing in Bog. It's so kind of very difficult the sideboard here. Like every card in the deck is just very good. We just like not have Voidwalkers. My 1 million point reward, yeah. You can't. It's gonna take a lot for me to play that deck, to say the least. I guess we can just take the Thoughtseizes out and trim a Reclaimer, maybe. We could trim a land. Maybe we trim Saga. Keep the Reclaimer. Yeah. My donation deck day. I unfortunately don't have one. Because I tend to not be very good at other decks because I'm just so used to playing this deck. It's very apparent when I play limited too. I feel like the skills that I have playing like Abzan mid range doesn't really apply to limited. I feel like I'm just not very good in those situations. Ragavan. This doesn't play around dash, but it plays around expressive iteration. Oh, outside of that deck though. Outside of that deck. Kept a one lander. So now we can just hold up push, but this looks like an awkward draw for our opponent. Okay. Can you let me draw? They do not care about us drawing cards here. I find that so fascinating. It was my first ever Grixis opponent that just like actively ignores Esper Sentinel. It's so wild to me. I'm not complaining. I'm just very fascinated by it. So we're gonna slant Tarmogoyf here. So they can Cruxa here, but they still don't have Delirium. And we have the Spell Bomb too. Okay. Oh yeah, like Bog's been pretty cool. I think it would have been awkward earlier in the game if we wanted to play as our third land drop, but we luckily drew the Marsh Flats because it would have shrunk the Goyf. Like at that time, there was only land and instant in the graveyard, so like it would have gotten this into Bolt Range, which would have been awkward. But like in this situation, Bog is obviously pretty good. Yeah, Sentinel is pretty good for Goyf. I think I just discard Spell Bomb. I could also just discard Shadow Spear. I think I like discarding Shadow Spear actually, because they still have Crooks in hand. Shadow Spear doesn't really do anything. I guess it would allow us to race, but I don't think we're in a position to, because I don't think we can let Monkey hit us. Yeah, because I don't hate just going Bog Spell Bomb. So let's attack first. So the hand is Cruxa. Maybe I shouldn't have dashed. Maybe that was a little too aggressive. Yeah, maybe that was a little too aggressive. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked. Because now they can dash Ragavand. Was kind of distracted by something. Hand is still Monkey Croxa. Looking at my top card. Kind of bluffing the push though. So I wonder if that plays anything into their play. Don't punish me. I guess I drew a card, which sucks, but no, I think I'm still sandbagging for the Croxa. Yeah. I'm assuming they'll cast the Croxa here. That works for me. So let's... Oops. Hey. Oh, you're right, you're right. I wonder if that's what they wanted it to do. I wonder if that's what they wanted to do. Pretty good. So they don't know about the Kai's Guile. Trying to debate if we should just force it on them to attack. I think so. Make them sack, make them 1/1. Yeah. Dolly, can you stop, please? I think like being aggressive here is then we just go wide. If they cast Ragavan and have nothing else, they could, I guess, like dress down, but then we draw a card off the Sentinel. If they go like, I guess they could like dress down, play a dude, play the one, play the land, but then we still go wide. So they kind of have to like have a removal spell and dress down. Cool. So the death of the flyer. They probably chump Tarak onto the Tarmogoyf. Cool. We've drawn so many cards off the Susper Sentinel this game. I think I've drawn more cards in this game more than like what is happening? Why did that start playing? Very much so, Ferret. Very much so. Reclaimer coming in just in time to be evaluated. Just in time to be evaluated. It's like, hey, by the way, I'm still in the deck. I know you're trying to test me, but just FYI, after your opponent concedes, it's on top of the deck, just right where it wants to be. Classic person in the group project that doesn't do shit but wants to get credit. That's classic Elvish Reclaimer right in that situation. My resolution is too small. Yeah, I've been like so when I first got this laptop, like I started off pretty high and I noticed that like my OBS started crashing and freezing. So I had to like scale it back unfortunately. And then like I would start to like slowly like up the resolution. I'm going to keep this. And I would slowly start upping the resolution. We're going to go Overgrown Tomb here. Go Reclaimer. Which is a Sentinel. I'm right below your lowest line showing the leaderboard. What do you mean? Oh, in the thing? Here, does that make you feel better now? Here, hold on. Let me help you out here, dude. Hold on, let me help you out here. There you go. How's that? Is that better for you? Is that better for you? Sure. Untap land. That's awkward. Thoughtseize. Expressive iteration. So they can go Channeler Thoughtseize next turn. God, that Triumph fucking sucks. I think we have to take the Thoughtseize. But then they just iterate next turn. If they Thoughtseize... So they go Channel Thoughtseize, right? I guess it depends on what they see on top. I could see them taking the push. Oh, I don't take the Thoughtseize. I'm just thinking, do I take the Channeler? Because if they Thoughtseize, they probably take my push. So do I have to take the Channeler here? Because if that's the case, do they just go Expressive Iteration next turn? I guess so, huh? Yeah, because then we still have the Kaiaska, right? So I think I do take the iteration. But something to think about. Something to think about. I think that's really close. I could see an argument for taking the Channeler, because if they... Because they go Channel to Thoughtseize. They take the push. Yeah. Westinmeyer, Darcy, play question. Evian MG, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. So I thought saves. If we draw an untap land, doesn't matter what. Oh god. There's still a turn off from that, but like we do need to. Okay, they take the Bob. That's really good for us. That's really good for us. I guess we just save the Kaya's Guile. And I think we push now. Just so they don't get any more value off the Darcy if they top deck Expressive Iteration or something. Like, I don't want them to like build more cards. And they're a turn off of Kroxa, so like I get punished if they have a discard spell, and then this Kroxa can take over the game. But I think I'm okay with that. Cool. So we know that our last card is Steam Vents. So we kind of have to make them sack exile the graveyard now. Hopefully they just put Lurrus in next turn and we draw a removal spell and then we go Inquisition, take the Lurrus, answer the Shadow. Okay. They have enough mana to... So this is a really critical draw step for us. We need some sort of answer to the Shadow. If we can answer the Shadow, we're just in such a good spot here. Not lucky. This will determine if we can put Lurrus in hand. Don't think we can attack. Okay. They have Dress Down. We lose, but I think we just have to take this. Okay. I think it's best just to make a construct and pass. Find another day for next turn. I think we chump with the construct. Oh god, that's so brutal. Okay. What's our last card? I don't think it's a drown or anything, right? I think we have to dig. We're just in the abyss now. We have answers. We just need to... like that. Okay, Engineering list is at the top. One time. So we can go Thoughtseize. They probably have like a heat or something here. Oh, they just have nothing. We can't get Blast Zone. I didn't board it in. Okay. I wonder if they should attack first to see if I block with the Sentinel, and then they don't have to pay the tax on this. Yeah, it's kind of a crazy game. I don't even know. I lost track because of the phone call. I got distracted. I think this is game one, right? This looks like game one. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is game one. Isn't it? Oh, no, unless it's not counting the other game. I don't know anymore. We'll see. So we have to double block. So they can't really... If they attack with both, we just block, and this Tarmogoyf cracks back for lethal. Yeah, that's true. So this means that they also just have a removal spell for the Tarmogoyf. So we can attack with the Tarmogoyf, and if they have the removal spell, we just... Oh. Okay. That means... Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say, like, a removal spell would have been live off the top. Reclaimers don't do anything. They don't do anything here. I've been, like, really not liking those. Sorry. Just don't seem very good. Do we want the Turax? I think we brought out the Thoughtseizes. Blast, I could see an argument for Blast Zone, yeah. Let's try it. Let's test it out. I just don't like this package, you know? It just, like I feel like you're bringing this package in this kind of shell, and like, all right, cool, we have a tutor package, and it's like, the package kind of requires you to untap with Elvish Reclaimer. You know what's really annoying is when these bots have all these like random ass numbers at the end of it, so like it's hard for you to like type it out. So you have to like go through the effort of copy and pasting. Monkey. So we can Inquisition first, and then see if we want to Prismatic and then Monkey. Because if they have like a second one, then there's no point, right? Why listing all the people links? Fair. Excuse me. Do you have a second monkey? You don't. You do have an Alpine Moon, though. Which we don't care about. So I think we just take the Shadow. I think we take one of the threats. I guess Channeler's the immediate threat. Once we take the Channeler, the hand really doesn't do anything. So I take that back. I take it back. I wonder if we attack them. I feel like the answer is no. I think you just sit there and look pretty, Esper Sentinel. You just sit there and look pretty. They also don't have a removal spell for Dark Confidant, which is of note too. Okay. Sure. You got an Urza Saga. I will never be able to cast Urza Sagas for the rest of the game. All this Urza Saga hate, huh? I don't think we attack again. If they draw a shockland, they still can't cast their shadow. They're trying. This is what I love about Urza Saga is they board in all these hate for Urza Saga, and then we just doesn't do anything in the spot. Okay. So their hand is Alpine Moon, Death's Shadow, Unknown. Should put Luris in hand now. Somebody's assuming you don't draw anything, which we don't. Maybe I should have played the Bajuka Bog out. Because we're not going to attack with a Sentinel. So then they're just less likely to have... Because if they go Croxa, then that punishes us. Yeah, so I should have played the Bog out. That was a mistake. I'm getting a little too greedy with this Bajuka Bog for sure. Huh. Bold move, Cotton. Bold move. Bold move, Cotton. I also could answer all the one drops. I too. I think we cash this in. I think we cash it in. Cool. So they can crack EE and then play their shadow. Sure. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting sequencing there. I mean, I don't know why they conceded. Like, they don't know about our blast zone. I don't know, whatever. Am I done showing your knee now, Sandy? Can I actually like play with a normal size window now? Did it count as fast like a siege right now? Yeah. I think I think that was enough free advertising for you, Sandy. All right. Let's see how good this Reclaimer is. I think we'll discard spell that'd be the best possible. They don't have the bobble. No bobble. I wonder if I lead on discard spell. I don't think so. I think I have to. Yeah, I think it's close, Andrew. I think it's close between one and the other. Yeah, I can see that too. I just feel like I could get caught with my pants down. That's a really good draw. I think I have to. Fuck. So painful. So painful. They can't cast a second channeler, and if they draw the channeler, like if they draw a fetch land, they could cast a shadow. So I think we just take the shadow here. So what you're saying is we should be able to get that blast zone equity up in here, huh? You can also just naturally draw E too. That'd be great. You still also need to draw a land as well. We also do need to draw a land. They could crack Spellbomb here, and then if they hit an instant or sorcery, we're also just kind of screwed. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so slow. This is so slow. They could easily just have land creature artifact. They cast any spell except that one. They have Delirium. Yeah. Because like next turn, if we have like a 2-drop we want to cast, we can't cast it because we have to spend our money doing mana into Reclaimer. This is also a really long league too. I don't think I can play the second one now. I think I have to. So they. Wow, we got really lucky. Okay, never mind. I don't think it is. Okay. Can we just dodge insert sorcery into the graveyard? Oh my god, this would be so unlucky for our opponent if they did not surveil into Delirium. They did not surveil into Delirium. Holy shit. That's so unlucky for them. We're gonna say that for Luris. Alright. We still need to draw a land for it, though. Like, we're not out of the woods yet. So they should be able to... Oh, please, just play more shadows. Huh. Yeah, that's true. But then they just take it here, though. Like, we're kind of in the same, like... It doesn't eat it because they just take it. If we cast it now, then they lose the delirium, and then they don't attack. But I guess it buys us a lot more turn, though. Like, it buys us a shit ton of time. So I wonder if we definitely exile. I wonder if we make a 1/1. I think we do. Yeah. Well, I mean, we could just toot out the blast zone and be super greedy, right? But I agree that that's probably not the play. Like, drawing an untapped land would be so good, because then we just go Goyf, hold up, Reclaimer next turn. Okay. Land, please. Can't play it. I guess we can. I guess we can. Because then that way it ensures us that we have enough mana to crack the blast zone. Please be a Death Shadow. They wouldn't fetch for a Death Shadow, though. Long league. Okay. Please just play a Death Shadow. They topped with the Express Ritter, with the last Darcy trigger, so they don't have Delirium yet. They could get an instant. Unholy Heat exiled. Can we go to 5? So they topped everything. Oh, sorry, they milled everything with Darcy. So whatever is on top is an unknown. I'm just wondering if I should block with a spirit and go to 8 or go to 5. I think 5 sounds good to me. 5, I think, is enough life. Inquisition. I don't think I should attack here, right? Yeah. I'm just wondering if I should attack with one. Sorry, I clicked attack all, and then I was like thinking like, do I want the mana? And there's like, I mean, do I want to play around Dash Ragavand? Because if I crack now, I play around Dash Ragavand. I mean, sorry, if I don't attack, I play around Dash Ragavand. I don't think I can attack, right? They go to 6. I could, but then if they draw a spell, they get like 3 surveil triggers, which is huge. Like if they draw a Bauble or a Thoughtseize, like that's just so bad for us. So I think I crack now, and then just don't attack with the Spirit. Yeah. I wish we had a Saga so we could play it, but yeah. Just put Lyris in hand. Untap land would be great here, because then we go Inquisition plus Tarmogoyf. I really hope they play a Ragavan. That just validates my play of not attacking. I can see an argument for us to attack, and then they're at 6 and the goes to 6/7, but they put Lyris in hand. Okay. This could be a Kolaghan's Command too. Kolaghan's Command. Shock Spirit, I guess. Bring back Darcy or Ragavan. And cast it. Again, like, we need to untap land. This is a crazy game. So, yeah, definitely not a second league. For sure. I was hoping I could just jam too, but... I also have to take out my dog, I think. Hey. Okay. Okay. They brought Ragavan in hand, right? Why are they fetching? Oh, they're dashing. Oh, okay, sure. That's actually fine. That's really, like, the way our hand set up, but they, like... I was gonna say, like, as long as they don't hit, like, a Discard Spell or a Sentinel, like, our hit, that lines up so perfectly. Fuck. Ragav 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they go land, they can go Ragavan, put Lyris in hand, cast Lyris. If we draw an untapped land, we can... So the safe line is the Inquisition. But then they also just go Lyris. They could just go Lyris in hand, cast Lyris. If they draw a land, they can just do that play anyway. So I think we cast a Tarmogoyf here. Because that way, if they... Like, us taking the Ragavan hand doesn't really accomplish anything. Exactly. Removal wins. And if they sandbag, they could play the Ragavan, put Lyris in hand, and sandbag it. And that's also fine from our perspective. Dash. Did they draw in Holy Heat? It's also fine if they draw in Holy Heat. Because they Holy Heat, put Laris in hand, we discard spell it. Perfectly fine. Take that. We take that 100%. Oh, they have trust down. Fuck. Fuck. I think we have to just hold up Casgal now. I think we sack make a 1/1 probably. I don't think we can exile their graveyard. Fuck, they have dress. They have. These Reclaimers just aren't good. We spent like so much turn trying to get the blast on that we weren't doing anything. That matchup felt so bad in comparison to how it usually is on like this version. Oh my god. I don't think you could sacrifice consistency by having a blast like a tutorable like effect by losing out on like more impactful sideboard cards. Like Lingering Souls is such a good card that we just don't have access to in that matchup. Like I don't know, it just like we lose that like yeah, sure we could tutor a blast up, but then we also lose like the second brutality, the Lingering Soul. Like these cards are so good in these respective matchups that you could have the tutor effect for. Oh man, that was just really frustrating. Because it's like we didn't get to like these Reclaimers were just so slow. And I think the way Modern is right now, it's just like you can't sacrifice speed for consistency. You just can't. Not that much. I guess like a Triumph counts as like sacrificing efficiency for consistency, but like outside of that, it's like you can't like spend a like you can't have a 1/2 in play that's already vulnerable to the yard hate that our opponent's going to bring in because of the lures. So like it was never a big threat against like the Relic Progenitus, right? And then like from there, it's like, do we really want to spend 2 mana to just tutor, or like do we need to impact the board? And like the whole game, like most of the games, we're just trying to impact the board. Because like unfortunately like the relic like if you wanted to tutor for a reclaimer, it doesn't do anything, especially when we're like this deck is so mana hungry. Like I don't think reclaimers are just where we're going to be in this deck, unfortunately. Yeah, Tron is definitely the boomer deck for sure. People give Jund a lot of crap for being in the boomer deck, but what's the one deck that hasn't gotten any upgrades in the past like 2 years? Tron should officially be the boomer deck. But I think that's just my kind of official kind of um take on Reclaimer. Like it's just like it's a good card being with Tutor of Saga like late game, but that's late game. And how do you like how do you like survive to the late game? Like I feel like even in that Grixis deck where it's like we're technically in the late game, but it still feels like a mid game because there's no one's stabilized yet. Like like you're still trying to stabilize here. And I would consider the late game is kind of like when you turn the corner, and like Elvish Reclaimer doesn't help you turn the corner. Um, because I feel like Blast Zone's too slow. Like you can, it turns the corner, but then like you could just, but then your opponent's cards are just unmolested. And we got really lucky there too, because like, or sorry, our opponent also got really unlucky there too. They could have, like if they hit Delirium off 3 surveils, like they would have like a bunch of 3/3s attack us down. We'd be down to 8 or whatever, or yeah, we'd be down to 8, and then like we tutored out the Blast Zone because that would be our out, and then we untap and we didn't draw a 4th land to crack the Blast Zone. So it's like, like the Blast Zone really wouldn't have done much. We're lucky that they missed the Surveil trigger, so we got to cash in on the Kai's Guile. But still, like that's pretty brutal. To not like again, like you can say, oh, that's just like mana screw, but like I like how lean like this version of the deck is without reclaimers, um being able to um still have the main deck void walkers so they don't take up sideboard slots. So like if you look at this, the list that we played, like we have 3 tutor targets for Elvish Reclaimer, and then we have the 2 void walkers that we used to have in the main. So like that just occupies 5 sideboard slots that we could have had. Like we have the Damping Spear, Second Brutality, Lingering Souls have been very good. Pulse is good. Like this could be anything. A Pulse is kind of just like a throw in versatile removal spell. Atlan Liberator, like I think the Reclaimers were a worthwhile project to kind of try out in the deck. And I do want to reiterate that my comments on Reclaimer are, you know, from an Abzan perspective, and from a Jun perspective, it could very well be good because you have Wrenn and Six. Um, I feel like your deck is a little bit more efficient because you have like all your spells cost 1 mana, like Unholy Heat, Ragavan, Lightning Bolt, discard spells. Versus this deck, we have a lot more twos, like Prismatic Ending. You know, sometimes you have to cast 2 mana for it, sometimes 3. So like this deck is a little more clunkier, so you don't have that spare mana to activate Reclaimer. And I think those little things that add up where it could be good in one deck but not another. Um, it's one of those things where like you see a lot of Jun games where like they have a Wrenn and Six and you don't have a fetch land. I can see value where like, well, it's fine. Like you just have a Reclaimer, you stack the land, get another land plus Wrenn and Six, bring it back. It's like little subtle plays like that that Jun has access to. I can see that would make Reclaimer a lot better. But again, like this past 3 leagues have been worthwhile. I think that's just good data to get and try out. But I think for the next stream, I'm gonna go back to the good old faithful. Um, this is a list that I've been kind of like jamming for the past like 2 months with some minor changes. We added a damned in the main board, and we cut the Withering Moon command for our 3rd prismatic ending. And I think that's also what I missed too. We do have the 3rd prismatic ending here, but like not having the portable hole, I actually miss portable hole a lot. Just being able to grow the constructs. I know it doesn't seem like much. Don't get me wrong, but like portable hole is just like so good. Just like that extra point of power, getting out of Fury range, being a 3/3 instead of a 2/2 to like block a Ragavan versus trading it. Like these are the type of plays where, um, you know, it's game defying. Like leaving a construct to play is game defying in this type of deck. And again, I definitely missed the Void Walkers in the deck, so um, probably jamming this again. I might be thinking about the sideboard. The Maelstrom Pulse is kind of like a generic catch-all. So this might be something else. Because I was thinking like maybe is there something we can improve our Hammer Time matchup with. That being said, I really appreciate you for tuning in. I know this is not my usual stream time, so I appreciate everyone for hanging out and tuning in. See the 5 next stream. If you're in the stream, Grace, that will definitely not happen. Let's rate Connor, man. He rated us when we got the trophy, so let's send him some love back. Really appreciate everyone tuning in and hanging out. If you want to support the channel, hit that follow button. You can check out my past streams. Go to my YouTube, hang out my Discord. Spoiler season's about to come up. My Discord's always popping during that time. Follow me on Twitter for all the memes and stuff. Stream time was way better. Yeah, I know. I think this time works better for a lot, but I'm in Pacific time zone, so unfortunately, like my normal stream time is works better for me because I do it after work and after dinner. But again, I appreciate everyone. I don't know when my next stream will be. I think I'm gonna spend this week to hang out with the fiance because she's been kind of sick, but she just got better, so that's why I was streaming so much because she was kind of MIA, and then I was kind of just taking time. But I might be back maybe sometime this week, maybe the weekend. I'm not entirely sure. But I'll definitely post it on Twitter so you can follow me there. Otherwise, take it easy, stay safe, stay healthy. Let's send Conor Man some love, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.